say the answer depends. It all depends on what the goals are for the author. If an author is looking to reach an audience, let's say that's in their 80s or their 90s, or perhaps the author's in their 80s or 90s, an ebook's probably not the right way to go. It's not about cost at that point, because ebooks are not expensive to create, but what does change is how the reader is going to access that material. They just don't work on ebooks. Now, on the other hand, if you're trying to reach a group of 16 or 17-year-olds, you better go ebook. One of the biggest reasons you wouldn't is it's not right for your audience. You know, I've had some clients who have felt like money was no expense, or money was not an issue. It really didn't matter to them, but that's not really what it comes down to. It comes down to how you're going to best reach your reader. And if an ebook's the way to go, or that's how they access their daily information, then it's perfect. Otherwise, it's not a good fit and you're going to fall short. I'd say it's a realistic possibility for people if you're comfortable with the technical aspects and you feel pretty good about what you've created. And what I'm trying to say is the ebook process itself, particularly in the case of a book that's all text, like a nonfiction work or maybe a memoir, to create an ebook out of that is pretty straightforward, not too difficult. Where you find the challenges come in is with a business book, for instance, that has charts and graphs, things of that nature. Making sure that those charts and graphs stay with the pertinent information that supports them is very critical and difficult to do on your own. So if you want it done right and it's complex, then get a professional involved, because that's what's going to represent you, and that's how people are going to remember you. Graydon Press has experience in publishing ebooks with complex material, charts, graphs, photographs, things of that nature. We've been there and we've done it, and we know how to make it look good to make the author look good. Part of the allure of ebooks for many people is they find it as a low-cost entry. I can get an ebook for a lot less in terms of creation cost than I can to get a run of books made. But if it's a book that you're expecting people to refer to over time, it's a reference book, it's a history book, it's got photographs and things in it that people are going to want to go back to, an ebook may not make sense for you. It depends on the content you're doing. The other thing that I've seen done very effectively is people will take an ebook and use that as a teaser to get people interested in the print book. Because number one, it's lower cost for the author to create, and typically that results in a lower price point for a potential reader. So you can give them a taste of the cake without giving them the cake. Then they go after it, and like myself, I find myself many times, I'll buy that ebook because I saw it's on a special on Amazon or wherever for the day for 99 cents. If I like it, I end up buying the print book too, because I want that on my shelf at home. And you can't do that with an ebook. I see people like that every day of the week. Here's what I would liken it to. If you think about wanting to build your own house, everybody has a dream of building their own house. I get a plot of land, I'm going to build this thing, it's going to be just the way I want. Very similar to a lot of authors. They've got a vision of what this book's going to look like. You can build a house because you've got an idea what that family room's going to look like, what your study's going to look like with that high-back leather chair. But you haven't the foggiest idea how to pour the foundation, or the footers, or put the rafters in. So what do? You find somebody you can trust. You find an expert that you can work with, that you've vetted out, you've talked to other people, do your homework, and find somebody that does the type of work that you've done. That way you can tackle the parts you're comfortable with. You know that kind of leather chair you're looking for. But if you're not sure what kind of binding or what kind of size of the book you want, that's when you lean on that expert. And at that point, the two together, your insight into what you've got in your mind for your vision, as well as coupled with the expertise of that publishing expert, and you're going to be successful and you're going to have that book that you envisioned. There are enough companies out there who offer print runs of anything from 1 to thousands, whatever you're comfortable selling and marketing, that you as an independent author should control that. The days of the minimum orders being thousands of books are gone. It just doesn't exist anymore. It shouldn't. As an independent author or somebody who wants to self-publish, you have the control. You can control what the run size is, and you're not going to pay as dearly as you think you might. It's not uncommon in my line of business when I'm working with folks that an average size order is a couple of hundred books. If you're talking 200 of those, you're only talking about 4 boxes. That's just something you put in the corner of your office. It's not filling up the garage. And at that point, you're going to find yourself at a cost point of maybe in a neighborhood of $5 or $6 a book, give or take. Something you can sell for $14.99, $19.99. You start to see how the math falls out on this thing. Graydon Press is a 45-year-old book printing and publishing company. We got our start in the very early days printing soft cover books for the real estate market, the old MLS home books with the black and white home thumbnail sketches. Over time, we've changed. That part of the business is still there to some level, but today, as of actually in 2013, we printed 360,000 books spanning 2,400 titles. I've worked with authors here in the local area that are as young as 8 years old, and I've worked with a couple of authors that are over 100. I've got them here locally, and I've got them as far away as Australia. I've been working with these folks now for a good 6 years. I have a background in professional photography, so I kind of come at this thing from a design standpoint, if you will, and I see things a little bit differently. What I truly enjoy about what I do is the opportunity to sit down and work with an author and help them understand how to get from point A, meaning a file on their laptop, to point B, that finished book that they're proud to show anybody they run into. I've seen people, the authors show it off in restaurants. They're so proud they show their mom. I mean, that's the kind of thing I want to do, and being able to teach them and guide them down that path, I get a buzz off of it. I don't get off of anything else. I really enjoy doing that.